people of YouTube, this is Gray's Guitars. I am Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. So, a while back, I was talking about the Harley Benton price increases, more specifically on their 2x12 vintage cab, because all the big YouTubers picked it up at a reasonable price of one it was like $200. And now, if you go on the website, you're looking at $229 plus shipping, and for whatever reason, they don't have a lot of shipping options. Maybe it's just where I live. I lived on the East Coast of the United States, so I don't see why it would be an issue to have multiple shipping options where it costs close to $100 to ship the item. So it's a little ridiculous. They do combine shipping on multiple items, though, to my knowledge. So if you're going to buy one thing, you might as well buy a couple. Save you on shipping a little bit, because it can definitely be expensive the way the shipping rates are, especially internationally. Since it's coming from Germany, if you're in Europe, it's probably a lot cheaper. However, being in the United States, not so much. So the question that I'm asking today is Harley Benton still worth it at this point in time? I don't know how long ago I did those videos, but it's been a while. There's been some price increases, and the short answer is I would say yes. Harley Benton is still worth it. Yes, you're going to have some quality control issues, but they've definitely gotten a lot better. You have a large variety of guitars, basses, amps, speaker cabinets, and the prices on those items may have raised, $30 to $50 depending on what you're looking at. But in general, yes, I would say Harley Benton is still worth it. There's not a lot like it out there for the price point still. Just for example, looking at the, actually it's kind of funny because the price of the horizontal 2x12 with the vintage 30s actually went up more than the price of the vertical 2x12. The vertical 2x12 right now is sitting at $241, horizontal sitting at $229. There used to be like a $20 to $30 difference. I think the vertical is basically right around the same price. I think it was like $220, $230, so that hasn't raised too much, whereas the horizontal has actually raised about $50. Sorry, $30 rather, not 50. But I'm just going to go ahead and Google real quick the price of what a vintage 30 speaker is going for. Let's see here. Vintage 30 speaker. If I can spell, that would help. Because if the price of a vintage 30 has gone up, which I can almost guarantee you it has because of inflation, it's still not a bad deal. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, right now, as I am looking at it, the price of a vintage 30 speaker from StewMac or Sweetwater is sitting at $149. So that means if you bought two of these, you would be paying $300. So even if that cabinet costs $229 and shipping, we'll say, is $70 to $80, you are essentially buying those two speakers and getting a cabinet for free, is a good way to look at it. Because just the price of those speakers alone is more than they're asking. Yes, the reason that they can do that is because they're buying these things in bulk. They're getting, hundreds of thousands of them, producing these cabinets. I think there's actually like a 3 to 4 week waiting period right now. Yeah, there is currently a 3 to 4 week waiting period on the horizontal 2x12. A lot of people love that cabinet. A lot of people really like the idea of being able to get a cabinet with vintage 30s in it for a reasonable price. You look at Marshall, Orange, Mesa. You're talking $800 easy for the same thing. And yes, the wood construction isn't the same. Yes, Mesa has their own specific voiced vintage 30s, and I think Marshall does too to a certain extent. I believe Orange doesn't. So if you compare it to an Orange cabinet, you're saving yourself like close to $500. Now the wood's not going to be as good, I can tell you right now. The cabinet construction itself, the Tolex, all the materials are not going to be too hot. So don't expect perfection for that price point, but if you want a decent cabinet or just a decent guitar in general for that price point, it's not bad. It's definitely not a bad price point. Now, moving on to the guitars, you look like the Fusion series, which I've talked about several times before with the price point. Right now, the new ones are sitting at $385. But, they got the Wilkinson Trem, roasted maple necks, stainless steel frets. go ahead and go try to find another guitar for $385 that offers a roasted neck, a decent style, tremolo system, and some stainless steel frets for that price point. There are not a lot of options offering that right now. You look at LTD, Jackson, Ibanez, Epiphone, Squier, just to name a few. We have finally seen some roasted maple necks get on the Squier guitars. It's been a while. Fender's been offering them on, you can buy a Mexican one or a USA line as more of a premium for the longest time with the Fender logo. They never had a roasted maple neck under the Squier logo. And those necks were $300, and they still are $300 if you want to just buy one of those necks, which for $85 more you can get an entire guitar from Harley Benton. So yeah, you're better off going Harley Benton, even if the shipping is going to cost you a little bit. As I said, try to find a couple of things that you want to save yourself some money with the shipping. Now, another thing about Harley Benton coming up, Black Friday's coming up. They did have a deal last year that I should have bit the bullet on and never did, where they actually down the price, I believe, of their 2x12 and a couple other items, $40 to $50. Are they going to do it this year? We don't know. We have to wait and see until Harley Benton actually releases those Black Friday deals. But if you've been looking for something for a while, hold out for a couple more weeks, because we have seen those deals before. It's a possibility we will see those deals again, which would be very delightful to the consumer. I might finally get that 2x12 I've been looking at for a while. I said I wasn't going to buy it until the price range went down, but just looking at the price of the speakers, $150 a piece just for the speaker. You can just buy two of these cabinets. Maybe you have a decent cabinet lying around. You don't like the speakers in it, buy the cabinet. It's literally cheaper if factor in shipping, obviously, but it's cheaper to buy the cabinet with the two speakers in it and take out those speakers than it would be to actually buy the two speakers separately, which is kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, as I said, they're getting them at wholesale price. They're getting them at a decent price because they are not, buying them for like one single person. They're buying them in bulk, so obviously it's going to be a lot cheaper to them than it would be to us, the individual consumer, buying those speakers. But I think for the price point, there are good companies that are catching up. Squier is finally catching up to some of these. As I said, with the roasted maple necks, still don't see stainless steel frets on most of them. Ibanez has some offerings. Jackson, PRS has some in that category too, to a certain extent. They're lower end models. Epiphone, I don't really compare it to, because it's not really the same thing. Price point wise, no. I mean, you look at some of the higher end Epiphones, it's getting pricey. They're pushing $1,000. They're supposed to be more of a budget brand, more friendly to the consumer. The Squier Defender, but they're getting at the price point where they're pricing a lot of people out of the market, because you look at the Slash collection, the Joe Bonamassa signatures. I don't even know what a standard's going for now. I think a standard's going for like $600 right now, and a lot of people aren't willing to spend that. They'll go buy that $200-300 Fender pack with the crappy amp in it and be on their way. So maybe I'll do a video about Epiphone and their decisions trying to be a higher end brand in the market. But let's just sit back, wait and see. Go buy yourself a Harley Benton. As I said, if you're looking for one specifically, hold out a couple weeks. Wait until you hit that Black Friday, and hopefully you will find something that is in a better price point than it was originally. My name is Steve Gray. If this is Gray's Guitars. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification, leave a like. Feel free to comment down below what you want to see for future guitar and music related videos. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good one.